Hi everyone. Today we're going to be talking about equivalent fractions and mixed numbers. So there's a couple of different skills that we're going to learn in this, so we're going to kind of break it up. The first one we're going to do is finding equivalent fractions with multiplication. So equivalent fractions, again, are fractions that mean the same amount, but they don't necessarily have the same number. So one way to do this is to first pick a number or use a number in the problem to multiply by. So it really depends on what that question is asking you. This example is asking you to find an equivalent fraction to 3/5. Okay, there's no number in it, so that just means that I can pick whatever number I would like. If I pick the number 1, nothing's really going to change. So I'm going to try picking a different number. How about the number 2? So my step 2 is to multiply the numerator and the denominator by the same number. So, as I said, I picked the number 2 just because it just came to my head. I didn't pick 1 because if I multiplied by 1, nothing changed. We do want to make sure that the number we are multiplying by is a whole number just to start off with. So what we did was I took my 3 and I'm multiplying it by 2 to get the number 6. And then I'm taking that denominator, the 5, multiplying it by 2 as well to get the number 10. And there you have it, 6/10. So I now know that 3/5 and 6/10 are equivalent. Hopefully we're good so far. Let's look at our second part. So now we're going to find equivalent fractions with division. This is also known as simplifying. This is probably one of the most useful skills that you're going to need when talking about fractions. You're always going to want to simplify no matter what operation you're doing. So step 1, find the GCF of the numerator and the denominator. So if you recall, GCF is the greatest common factor. See how everything comes back into play? So our example problem, simplify the fraction 10/5. Okay, 10 is my numerator, 15 is my denominator. I need to find factors of both. So factors of 10, I know are 1 times 10 and 2 times 5. Looking good so far. And now I need the factors of 15. I have 1 times 15 and 3 times 5. And I need to find the biggest number out of all, or in both lists. And if I take a look, the number 5 is the biggest number on both lists. Great, step 1 is done. Step 2 is to divide the numerator and the denominator by that GCF. So I'm taking that 10 and I'm dividing it by the number 5 along with the denominator and dividing it by the number 5. Well, 10 divided by 5 is 2. And 15 divided by 5 is 3. There we go. I just found another equivalent fraction, but I did this by simplifying it, by going to the smallest numbers that I can. Next step. Or next skill, I should say. Now we are turning mixed numbers into improper fractions. So mixed numbers, again, are when you have a whole number in a fraction. And an improper fraction is when you have a fraction, but the numerator is larger than the denominator. Mixed numbers are going to be the proper way of writing your answer. However, improper fractions are going to be used a whole lot more when you're actually completing the problem. So here we go. Step 1, multiply the denominator by the whole number. So in our example here, we have convert 3 2/5 into an improper fraction. What I need to do is take my denominator, which is 5, and multiply it by the whole number. So sometimes you might see something that looks like this, where it's written in the mixed number. It's actually a process that we go around like this, but let's take a look at it and break it down. I'm going to do 3 times 5 first. 3 times 5 we know is 15. Yay, my step 1's done. Step 2, add the amount from step 1 to the numerator. So I multiplied my denominator by my whole number, so 3 times 5. Then I'm going to take that answer and add it to my numerator. So I had 15 when I solved it, and I'm adding that to my numerator of 2, which is equal to 17. And then we have one more step to go, which is step 3. Write the amount from step 2 as a new numerator and keep the denominator the same. So 17 was my number that I found, so that's my new numerator. And the denominator is still going to stay the same as the fifths. So 17 fifths is our answer. Looking good. We have one more skill we have to do. Oh, that was a quick preview of the next one. Here we go. Let's make this a little bit, back it up a little bit. Now we can see all the steps. There we go. Turning improper fractions into mixed numbers. So again, we're taking our fractions with a larger numerator and turning it into a mixed number. So that again is something with a whole number in front. So step 1, place the numerator inside the division box and the denominator on the outside. So we have to do division for this skill. So my numerator is going on the inside and my denominator is going on the outside. From there, we have to solve with long division. Okay, we can definitely do that. We have been practicing it, and we can practice it even more. 5 goes into the number 16 3 times. So that 3 is going up above. And then take that number, 3 times 5, and multiply them together to get the number 15. From here, I'm going to subtract these numbers and get a remainder of 1. And that's it for the actual math part. Now we just have to see which numbers are which. So step 3, the number at the top of the division box is the whole number. Okay, so 3, I even have it labeled for us, is our whole number. So I'm going to write that nice and big out in the front. The remainder is the numerator. Okay, numerator, which is our 1, or remainder, which is our 1, is our numerator. And the denominator will stay the same. Okay, that 5 staying exactly the same. And look at that, we have our answer, 3 1/5. All of these skills are kind of just the starting point of doing operations with fractions. You need to know how to do these in order to continue with the other learning. So please ask questions and good luck.